Hi guys, this is Mr. Tranquilo and you are watching the Astute Tourist channel. Enjoy it.
This is Scott Roby from Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, and you're watching the Astute Tourist channel.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen, aka Jen.Cohen. You're watching the Astute Tourist channel.
I'm Nancy Saulnier of Lake Alfred, Florida, and you're watching the Astute Tourist channel.
Hey, I'm Bill Merrill from Windham, New Hampshire, and you're watching the Astute Tourist channel.
Hey, good morning. It is Monday morning. It is June 12th. How is everybody doing? It is the start of the work week after the nice weekend here in New England. It is the weather was fantastic yesterday after crazy rain that we've had for like a week and a half. It was in the low 80s. It was sunny all day. We were able to get outside and work on the garden. And I can continue to clean the garage and a number of different other projects. So it was good to be able to get outside. I hope your weekend was good, but good morning to everybody. It is Monday Morning Cup of Joe. My name is Jimmy, and thank you for coming in. It looks like we got a good group in the chat here this morning. I'm just going to catch up real quick, and I'll say good morning too. Sharon Rowland is here. Good morning to you. The Gaylors are here. Hi, John. How are you? Let's see. Sharon and John are in. They've been having quite a long conversation. So it's good to see you guys. And Law Jones is here as well. Good morning, Law. Thank you for coming in. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. It is the start of Bike Week here in New Hampshire. I don't know if anybody's familiar, any bikers around, but for 100 years, this is the 100th anniversary of the Bike Week here, the motorcycle rally, the motorcycle races here in Loudon at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Bikers from all over the country and all over the world gather here. It's similar to Sturgis, but it happens right here on the East Coast, and it's been happening my whole life. And like I said, this is the 100th anniversary, so they're celebrating. Quite vigorously, let's say. So they go up to the biggest lake in the state, Lake Winnipesaukee. They find this little town called Wares Beach, and it's I guess it's quite a rally that they have. I've actually never been in the years that I've been doing this. I'm not an avid biker, and I just try to avoid crowds like that. But a lot of people are there. I have some friends coming in from Indiana this week that are going to hang out with us. They're going to be driving their bike out from their state and heading this way to head up to Bike Week. That'll last all the way until till Father's Day. So it's going to run all week right through this week into the weekend. But good morning to you guys. Here's our friendly G.I. Joe, Cup of Joe. Good morning, best sip of the day. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Law. He's saying, by the way, you're clean and clear at my view. So we've switched over. I've been using the Streamlabs OBS. And as you could see in the intro, I got all of my intros in, and I even have this here. Let's see, is that gonna work or not? Oh, that's my logo. Here we go, right here. Look at that. I've even got the Chiron going. Don't forget to hit the like, share us out, and subscribe. Good morning to Paul S. Vines is here from PSV Odyssey. Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for coming in. I hope everybody, like I said, had a great weekend. I know I did. I hope you had a dry weekend. Mine was overcast. It rained Friday. My ride home from work Friday night was crazy. Thunder showers, downpours. At one point, it was hard to see the road. Craziness, crazy weather. But let's see. My son is out that way, says John, at Bear Brook State Campground. Oh, yeah, that's not too far from me. That's maybe 25 minutes from where I live. My folks used to live in a town not far from there. So, in fact, right down the street from where your son's at. So, yeah, like I said, it's a big rally. It's one of the biggest rallies in the country, and most likely the world. Like I said, this year is a big year for them, being their 100th anniversary for the New Hampshire Bike Rally. So I hope they all have fun. Everybody stays safe and they stay out of trouble. Good morning, Mom is here. Hi, how are you, Mom? Good morning to you. I hope you had a good weekend. I'm just trying to read the chats over here. I still haven't quite figured out how to do the chatting on the screen, but we're getting there. So we're on our way to that. So we figured out the like, share, and subscribe part. I also have some other business we can put up there in a minute, but the weather here yesterday was fantastic. Today it's looking a little cloudy. The sky is gray out there, so the weather has been somewhat nasty. I don't know if I can if I do this, if it's gonna mess up anything, but let's see. Let's see if I can mess something up, huh? Oh, all right. So, see if I can bring up some weather here for you guys. We're trying an experiment, so let's see if this works. Hey, can you see that? All right. So, I'm not sure how I can manipulate it. Well, there it is. There's part of it. But I'm not sure how to go in and be able to use it. So we'll figure that out as we go here on this journey. As you take this journey with me, to get our picture clear, our platform correct, and being able to do all the things that we've been able to do. But I appreciate all of you guys, your patience with us, and we're glad to have you along on the journey. So, Law Jones is here, but Lone Cross MTP is here. Scott, we featured Scott in the morning. So, I don't know if you guys caught those intros. I have, of course, Mr. Tranquillo and Scott Lone Cross. We also had Jen Cohen, my mother, and a friend of mine, Billy. So we're adding more and more. So if you let's watch Jen again. Let's see if we can get her to come up here.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen, aka Jen.Cohen. You're watching the Astute Tourist channel here on YouTube.
So if you are so inclined and you want to make one of those videos, we'll feature you on the channel. We'll also, I will feature those in videos that I make. So all you have to do is say who you are, where you're from, and that you either watch the Astute Tourist channel, or you can tell the folks watching you are watching the Astute Tourist channel. So I appreciate Mr. Tranquillo, Scott, Jen, my mom, and Billy for submitting those to us. And all you have to do is send that to theastutetourist@gmail.com, or you can send it to me in a Facebook message, and we'll work on that and get it on here. So good morning, everybody. So I hope your weekend was well. We had an interesting weekend. I know I did. Friday night, we didn't do a whole lot. Colleen and I cooked on the grill, and we chilled out here. Didn't do a lot after a long week. And then Saturday morning, the dogs woke me up promptly at about 5 o'clock. Colleen, Friday night. Let me go back. This is my memory. So Friday night, we went out for dinner because my birthday fell on Wednesday, and Colleen wanted to take me out for dinner Friday night. So Colleen and I and my son Nicholas, we went to an Italian restaurant called Fratello's in the largest city in this state called Manchester, New Hampshire. And it was fantastic. I had this seafood dish, and we had dessert and a bottle of champagne. It was a lot of fun. So that was our Friday night. So Saturday, about 5 a.m., the puppies, of course, need to get up and fill their bellies and go out and do their business. So they woke us up early. And I wasn't up long. I had just made a cup of coffee. And we get what's called tones. I get a fire tone on my phone. And I read the message, and it says structure fire. So of course I have to leap into action. So I quickly got dressed and hopped into the car, and I went what we call code 3, lights and sirens, to a building fire that happened in the town that I work in. When companies arrived on scene, they had heavy smoke showing from the structure, heavy black smoke, in fact, which pretty much indicates there's a fire in the building. What we do is we go in, we make entry. The companies do what they call a primary search. They look through the house quickly as they can. Of course, the visibility is zero. Their primary search was negative. They found no one in the home. The neighbor reported that the owner of the home had left early to go up north to go hiking, and he took his dog with him. So it was nobody in the house, thank goodness. And companies went in, they extinguished the fire. They had, like I said, it was heavy smoke and heat conditions with a fire that extended from the first floor up through the wall into the second floor, partial collapse of the second floor. But they were able to extinguish the fire. It was what we call a good stop, saved the home. And we were there for several hours. The neighbors were able to contact the homeowner, who obviously stopped his hike and came back home. He was about 2 hours away. And and we went through and we tried to find the reason for the fire. It is, I am in the middle of the investigation. I can't really talk about that side of it, but I will finish up my investigation today. I just have to go in and write my report. We know we know the cause of the fire, and it was being considered accidental. So all's well that ends well there. And thank goodness that the homeowner and his dog was out. We weren't sure if the dog was out. We were looking heavily throughout the building for the dog. But thank goodness he came home and was safe. And his house can be repaired, and hopefully it won't take him too long to make the repairs to his home. So good job by my crews and all those involved. Mutual aid companies, which are other towns, come in to help us. Everyone did a great job. It was a great stop. They were able to save the house, and like I said, everyone's safe and sound. So good deal. So that's what I did Saturday. After the fire, I came home, and we kind of putted around the house. Didn't do a whole lot. That's when I cooked on the grill. Colleen and I chilled out. I was pretty tired from working the fire. And we did a Zoom call with my sisters-in-laws and brothers-in-laws, at least two couples, regarding the booze cruise, which we... So let's talk about the booze cruise. So we've decided that we're going to stay at a hotel called the Prince Conti. We've stayed there before. It's in the French Quarter. It's within walking distance of Jackson Square and Cafe Du Monde and Bourbon Street and all those fun places. So that's what we've decided to do. We're going to go on October 27th. And spend a couple days in the city before we head over to the cruise port and jump on the ship and make our way to our 7-day booze cruise. That should be a lot of fun. So we still haven't found, we haven't booked our flights, because we went to book the flights and they're incredibly expensive. So leave it to my wife. She did a little research, and they said that I guess after July 15th is when airfare prices drop. So we're going to hold off on booking the airfare, but today we're going to book the hotel and probably start working on excursions. I think that's what we're going to do when I get home tonight. We're going to have another meeting. We'll come up with some ideas. Certainly, when we go on these cruises and vacations, it's everybody's vacation. So if somebody chooses they want to stay on deck and sit by the pool, while others go off board and see their sights, or swim with the dolphins, or fly with the birds, or whatever you do, you're certainly welcome to do all of that. So we never hold anybody. We're not like that. But I'm excited to go on this cruise in the fall. I'm excited to meet some of you folks as well. And it should be a lot of fun. So let's do this. Hey, look at that. So if you want to help support the channel, you can go to our PayPal. There's the link for our PayPal right there. That way you can help support our channel. You can help support us, in your 100% of your proceeds for the support at PayPal goes directly to the channel. Of course, you can always give us a super chat, super sticker. You can I think what's the other one? You can like the video or something like that, or give us a thank you, I think is what it is. And those are always much appreciated as well. The other way that you can support us is by going to our channel. This is our Teespring store. We also have an Etsy store, which I haven't got the link up there, but I'm working on it. So let me know what you think about the new platform, the new Chirons. If the colors are terrible, that one may not be the best. The red and white gradient, I don't know. But you guys let me know. You're the ones that are seeing it. I may have to do it in just all white or something, but let's go over to the chat. So my mother asked me if we went to the fire. Yes, we did. John said their neighborhood had their annual Italian festival. We didn't go this year. We were very busy. We usually go. That festival in 1980 is how I met my wife. Oh, wow, that's cool. Was going to make a birthday candles joke, but that would probably be inappropriate. I don't mind, but some of the other folks may. So, everybody, Mr. Tranquillo was here. Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for coming in. It's good to see you. I hope all is well. Good afternoon to you, I should say. Sharon says, yeah, go ahead to Law. Paul says, good morning to Mr. T. How are you doing? Good to see you. I really like your background at the Astute Tourist. Nice colors and it's so relaxing view. I'm enjoying looking at your beautiful guitars the most. Yes, let's see. You want to see some more? As I turn the camera over. There's some more of my beautiful guitars hanging on the wall right there. Whoa, there you go. There's a couple of those guitars for you. That first one on the left, that's my 5-string Gravity 5 Fernandez bass. The orangey yellow one next is that's my Michael Kelly my hybrid special, and that is it's an acoustic and an electric guitar. It has what's called a piezo pickup in it, as well as 2 humbuckers, so you can crank out the jams, or you can play get an acoustic tone. The next one is my my American Standard Stratocaster, one of my most favorite guitars of all. There were 2 guitars that I wanted as a young musician. That was one of them. The next guitar, that's my Epiphone, which is made by Gibson. That's an ES335. That's an arch-top semi-hollow body. And then the second of the 2 guitars that I wanted was that white one right there. That's a Gibson Les Paul. So that Fender and that Les Paul are the 2 guitars that I wanted most in life as a young musician. So there you go, Mr. T. You can see a few of the other guitars of mine. Let's see, where did I leave off? Scott says, Jimmy sent you an email. Just hope it went through. I think you will get to like it a lot. Okay, I'll take a look for that, Scott. Let's see. Thank you, Mr. Tranquillo, saying nice collection. All those guitars should have a history. Some of them do. They all do. That first guitar I showed you, that Gravity 5 bass, that's been all over the country. That guitar has toured with me. I've had that for over 30 years, that bass guitar. And if it could talk, it would tell some pretty cool stories. How many guitars do I have? Sharon's asking me. Presently I have around 14. There's some in the cases. So on the left-hand side, past that black acoustic, there's a bunch of cases there with some other guitars in it. And I believe it's 14 that I have. Oh, no, I think I sold one, so I may have 13 now. Baker's dozen. But guitars come and go, but some of the ones, especially the ones you're seeing on the wall, those will never go. Those will go somewhere after I go. Most likely, Nick will get those. So, All nice brands, yes. So I also have my acoustic guitars. I have a Taylor. The one behind you see is a D'Angelico. I also have a Martin, and I have a Taylor acoustic guitar. I have a Padula 4-string bass. I have another Fender American Jazz 5 bass, which is a 5-string. And then several other guitars. I have a Warwick bass and some others that are in there. So I'll pull them all out at some point. This guitar, let's see, this one over this shoulder here, that is a guitar that was made in the 60s. That's a classical nylon string guitar, and it was made by a company called Decca. And for any of you, those folks that grew up in the 60s and early 70s, Decca was a record company. And during the Beatlemania craze and all that, a lot of these record companies decided they would make their own guitars. And that one there is made by Decca Records. So that's more of a conversation piece. It's not worth a lot, but it sounds nice, and it's mine. So pretty cool. Paul says he likes the necks on the Epiphone better in most cases. And it depends on the model too, Paul. You know, the Epis, depending on what it is. So that ES335 that I have, the neck is a lot smaller than, like, say, an Epiphone Les Paul or a different one. So they have C shapes and V-shaped necks and all that. So there's different shapes, so they fit in your hand a little bit differently. They play a little bit different. It's funny because when I take some of those with me when I play at gigs, you know, I'll go from playing, say, that D'Angelico there, and then I'll pick up the ES335, and it's different, man. It feels funny. It's hard to play. Not hard to play. You got to get used to it because it's just a kind of an acclimation kind of a thing. So pretty cool. Billy's here from Bamanola Lawn Adventures. Good morning, Billy. It's good to see you. Says my son is into brass. He can play the flute, French horn, saxophone, and he is learning the trumpet now. That is cool. I've always been a big fan of brass sections. I can remember growing up with like bands like Chicago, Tower of Power. Who's the other one that I can't think of off the top of my head? But a lot of brass sections, the Tijuana Brass, things like that. Great stuff. Great stuff. Paul says he knows Decca and Greco and Kay. They were big in the 60s. Early 70s. K, I actually had a K guitar back in the day. I also had a Vox, VOX. That's one, I always talk about the ones that got away. There's two guitars I regret selling. One was my Vox, and the other one I had a Rickenbacker bass, a 4001 model bass. And like a young, crazy, dumb fool, I sold them both, and really wish I still had them, but hey, they're just things, right? So they come and go, and who knows, maybe someday I'll be able to afford another one. John says, I can play an 8-track player. Remember 8-tracks? Oh, my goodness. I think I had one for a while. Those were the big cartridges. They were a little bit bigger than your iPhone, maybe a little wider, but probably just about the same size. And you would stuff it inside. One end would go in. And if it wasn't in there quite right, the tape would drag, and you'd have to get it in there just right for it to play exactly at the right speed. We had a lot of those. We went from vinyl to cassettes to 8-tracks, which 8-track was pretty cool. But it wasn't quite the best medium. They lasted for a little bit. I remember my folks had an 8-track player in the car. And you'd have that big suitcase full of cartridges that you would play. But cassettes were always the go-to before CD came out. Nothing like a good horn section, right? Herb Albert, right? Paul, that was the Tijuana Brass. So good. Such a good musician, such a good group. Who was the other one? I can't think of. Oh, it was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Remember them? They did Spinning Wheel. And some others. You make me so very happy. I won't sing for you this morning. But yeah, nothing like a good horn section. Sharon says, Gaylor's my 8-track player I had. My brother took it. It was brand new too. What kind of brother would do that to his sister? He must be older. Picking on his little sister like that. But it was funny, speaking of that. So in my continued journey of working on the garage, I was out there cleaning. Nick was working on Colleen's wine closet. She has a wine closet in the basement. And part of her Mother's Day gift from him was for him to renovate it and, fashion it the way that she wants it. So he's been working on that. But I was cleaning the garage, and I have a long workbench that was just stuffed with things and junk and crap, and I found a box of cassette tapes, and there were bands like, I don't know, there was all kinds of different stuff in there. Yes, and Rush, and Triumph, and I don't know, bands you would know, all kinds of stuff, AC/DC and Ozzy, and there were some blank tapes in there. So I'm like, oh, I have a cassette player on my bench, so I cleared all the stuff away and I put in a couple of the tapes, and it was very nostalgic for me because these blank tapes were tapes that were practice tapes from bands that I used to be in. So what we would do is at a lot of practices, especially during writing sessions, we would throw a cassette in and let it run while we worked on songs. That way we could go back and review and say, okay, I like that part we did, or I like this part, or that part's no good. It was a hoot for me to go back and listen to some of these tapes. I was in some pretty damn good bands. I'm, in retrospect, when you hear it, pretty good, and some pretty awful stuff as well. You go back and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that jam, and listening to that song and going, it's a good thing we never recorded that one for real. But there's some stuff on there that were in the beginning stages, and it turned into some songs that we actually we honed and ended up recording, which was really cool. So that was a lot of fun for me to listen. It was pretty good, pretty good. Let's see. Stilinya is here. Good morning, my friend. Thank you for coming in. I hope you have a fantastic day as well. Hope you had a good weekend. So it is Monday. It is the beginning of the work week. It's Cup of Joe. And we're going to be here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I haven't decided whether we're going to have hump day this week or not. We do have friends coming in. And depending on what they want to do. I am working this week, so there'll be probably going up to the lake for Bike Week most nights. They're going to be hanging out with us and staying in the motorhome while they're in town. But they do know that we will be working. I won't be able to get any time off, so forgive me with that. So as far as Hump Day goes, I don't know. Maybe we'll have it at the Tiki Bar if they're around. Maybe we'll just go out there and hang out, and we'll do it from there. But I haven't decided yet. So we may do Wednesday morning Cup of Joe. It's kind of up in the air at this point, but we'll figure it out as we go. Right now, we'll just keep it status quo, but you'll never know. So you can see that in the as I post the video link or whatever it is that you do when you schedule it. So let's see. Catching up. Sharon says, no, he's younger, but he's in prison, so I don't have to worry about him. Well, I guess he started young on his decline. Kenny G, right, Billy? Yeah, Kenny G's the man. Let's see. Good morning, still in you. Everyone's saying good morning. I'm going to start cutting down on my Joe starting today. That's right. Thursday, you're going for your procedure, right, John? Now, is that an outpatient thing? Will you be coming home Thursday night? Or are you going to spend a couple days? I know that, Scott, you were in for a couple days when you had your recent surgery done. Recent? It was what? Month and a half, 2 months ago now. Mr. Tranquillo saying happy Monday. Paul says, I remember that Gregorian chant band I was in, that you were in, had some easy guitar work. There was a Gregorian chant band that got kind of, didn't they have a hit back in the 90s, I think? I don't quite remember when that was, but I think so. That's good. Yes, he did, right, Sharon? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's too bad. There's always it's never too late to get your S together, as they say, and maybe he can turn his life around. But you'll get out on Friday, so you're going to spend the night. Okay. And of course, John, we're going to be thinking of you, as I think of all of you folks every day. But we're going to send some extra PMA towards John starting Thursday morning. So when we do our Thursday morning Cup of Joe, we'll be thinking of you, my friend, and hoping that everything is going to be fine. I'm sure it will be, of course. Scott says, don't laugh, but I still listen to the Gregorian music. Yeah, a lot of people do. Didn't Scott, you could probably tell me, didn't they have, or Paul, they did have a hit, right, in like the 90s? Wasn't that like a big deal for a little while? Those Gregorian monks? I think they did. Now I have to look it up. I'm looking it up now. We'll see. Flashback. Gregorian chant dominates world music. This is from Rolling Stone. 25 years ago, the Benedictine monks of Santo Domingo de Silos released their double platinum juggernaut 25 years ago. March of 1994, the Nine Inch Nails, let's see, wait a minute, this is, they're talking about the same year, the Nine Inch Nails and Soundgarden and Pink Floyd released some juggernaut albums. But the most perplexing hit, both then and now, arrived 25 years ago. Chant was an album of Gregorian chants recorded decades earlier by Spain's Benedictine monks. The record was a fairly straightforward compilation of gentle, soothing, mystical chants in Latin, and somehow it became a sales juggernaut. By May, the record made it up to number 3 on the Billboard 200, and it ultimately spent 53 weeks on the chart. It was also number 1 on the classical albums chart and number 17 on the Christian albums chart. The label released Chant Angel Records, of course, made a music video for the track Alleluia, Beatrice ver que sufre, which is happy is the man who endures. And I'm sure I said it wrong, for MTV, though it appears not to be online. So I don't know if we can find those or not, but there you go. 1994, the Benedictine monks had, there is, it's actually here on YouTube. I wonder if I'll get whacked for playing it. What do you think? You think that's copywritten? I don't know. Could be. And now here's the Benedictine monks with their number 1 hit, Alleluia, coming straight out of Spain. I'm sorry to say I don't have this one in my collection. I may have to run out and get that one. I'm not laughing at them. I am just laughing because it's crazy the things that can hit number 1. Let's see. What am I missing? Let's see. Yeah, we're going to be praying for... Paul says he likes it in Irish and Scottish music. My mother says that she's going to be praying for, I think, John, Mom. You can pray for Paul, too, but with my new bionic knee, I expect to have superhuman ability. You'll be like Steve Austin and not the wrestler. For those old people like me, you'll know what I mean. You'll be able to jump over cars and cement walls. Are you going to get a bionic eye, too? That would be crazy. You'd be jumping small buildings in a single bound. Oh, Mom corrected herself. Yep, John. I'll be happy to jump mud puddles. Just don't jump anything until you're better. All right, so there you go. We talk about everything. And that was my bad Casey Kasem impersonation. The Benedictine monks are making their way up the charts in this 1994 hit. Bionic eye and the ear, right? Is that what he had? Yeah, he had both the eye and the ear. Not only could he spy on people from miles away, but he could hear what they were saying. Or doing. Yikes. Did anybody have the Steve Austin action figure? You could look through the back of his head. It wasn't bionic, Didn't go very far. But yeah, you could look through the back of his head. The woman had the ear. That was Lindsay Wagner. She played the Bionic Woman. It's funny how I remember that. You know, it's like anything. You have a bionic man, you got to have a bionic woman. Superman, Superwoman, Batman, Batgirl. I can hear Sophie scratching at the door. You had a friend. John says he had a friend that had it. That's right. He had the pickup truck and the Fall Guy. What was that? Was that a GMC? I think it was like a big brown pickup truck, right? And he was always jumping stuff and smashing it. I wonder how many trucks they really went through. The Fall Guy. What was the actor's name? I can think of Lindsay Wagner. How come I can't think of him? I could see his face. I'll think of it in a minute. He was married to Farrah Fawcett. Can't forget her name. But Lee Majors, there we go. I just remembered. So it was Lee Majors was the $6 Million Man. And he was on, I remember the first time I seen him. There you go, John. Thank you. And Scott as well. Thank you. Lee Majors, the first thing I saw him in was in The Big Valley with Barbara Stanwyck. You guys remember that show? Yeah, Lee Majors. I have eyes in the back of my head. Yeah, you did, Mom. My mother had a sixth sense. She'd catch me doing stuff from a mile away. She had the bionic eye. Yeah, Lee Majors. Right, Scott? The poster of Farrah. I did. We all did in that bathing suit. Yep, the good days. I had a lot of posters in my room. Of course, being an avid music fan, I had lots of band posters. Remember those days? You could buy posters. I'm sure you can still get them, but I mean, I had Led Zeppelin, I had Rush, I had Yes, I had Aerosmith. I think I had Peter Frampton. I had all kinds of posters. That was the thing. Get your you get your allowance or whatever, mowing money, and I would either buy albums or I would buy posters. I had a Foghat poster. I had all kinds of stuff, all kinds of posters on the wall. The Blues Brothers. It was the Blues Brothers on the cover of Rolling Stone. That was the poster. And it's funny because, the Blues Brothers were a goof. But I had the album. It was awesome. They were playing, already hits, songs, blues and standard blues hits, rhythm and blues stuff. But are you kidding me? Fantastic. Good stuff. Stillinger says that one thing about watching old TV, many great actors, we don't know their names, right? Isn't that true? I'll eventually think of them, but for some of them anyway. Let's see. Bone Tired says, good morning, Jimmy, popping in from work. Good morning to you. Thank you for popping in. Most of my posters were velvet, and I used the black light. Did you have the big weed one? The big velvet weed plant? Or the mushrooms? I don't know if I ever had any of those. I don't think I had a black light. I had a strobe light. few of those. Being in bands, I had all kinds of weird lights and stuff. Warrant cherry pie poster. There you go. That was a little further from me up. That was in the 80s. I was back in the 70s when I started with all those posters. My mother. Yep, all the staples in the plaster. So my bedroom wasn't sheetrock. It was plaster. Plaster and lath. And tape wouldn't hold them up. They would fall off. So I got a staple gun and I stapled all my posters to the ceilings and the walls. Dad wasn't very happy when I moved out and he had to fill all those little holes in. Remember a giant-sized Frampton and Led Zeppelin? Yep, I had both of those. Jimmy, remember the teen magazine with posters in them? I do, but I didn't buy teen magazines. That was like a girl thing, I think. I would get music magazines like Guitar Player and that type of stuff. Some of those had posters in them. Rolling Stone, I would read that when they were good. Let's see, I'm trying to catch up. I think I found a way to be able to display the chat. I mean, I know you can see it, but you know how you can put it on the screen? I think I found a way to do it, but I haven't tried it yet. So let's see. Everyone's saying good morning. How many days till the bionic knee? Thursday, John says good morning. Bone tired. How about the super cool Yes posters? Yeah, see. I was a huge fan of the progressive bands. Yes, Rush, King Crimson. Damn, I gotta think back to a lot of them. There were so many good bands, really good progressive bands. Chris Squire was one of the reasons why I played bass. As a young lad, a young musician, my three favorite bass players were Paul McCartney, of course, Geddy Lee from Rush, and Chris Squire from Yes. Scott said, I couldn't use a strobe light due to having epilepsy when you were younger. Yeah, right? Can you imagine? That wouldn't be good. Sharon, do you still have your Donny Osmond? What was it like? Teen Beat or Tiger? Oh, you have it right there. Tiger Beat. You know a few guys who bought those teen magazines. I'm sure it wasn't just for girls, but I never had those. I know that Colleen, when I met Colleen, she had like Leif Garrett albums. Remember that guy? Leif Garrett, Donny Osmond, Sean Cassidy, David Cassidy. I think I love you. Not really my thing. Although, remember the Partridge Family? Yeah, Shirley Jones. I had a crush on her. She was the hot mom. I don't got it. It got burned up in the house fire. Ah. I was in a band, played flute for 8 years in grade school and college. One son is a drummer, but a really good guitar player, and the other son owns a music store and is a great beast. A guitar beast, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's awesome. I played in, so when I was in grade school, I was a drummer. Right up until about middle school. We had a guitar in the house, and I think I was in 7th or 8th grade when I bought my first guitar off a friend, and I started teaching myself how to play. Playing drums was good, but having all that equipment, man, was crazy. So I bought a guitar, and I taught myself how to play it. And that was it. And then as my kids, I have 2 boys. My oldest son went to Berklee College of Music. He's a bass player, phenomenal bass player. My youngest son, he was a drummer until he had his accident. He was a fantastic drummer. We sent him to drum lessons, and we paid for maybe 3 or 4 months. Just a natural drummer, but we paid for these lessons. And his drum teacher pulled us aside after about 4 months and said, you shouldn't be wasting your money. And we're like, what? We're thinking, what is this? He doesn't think he's a good drummer. But it was the contrary. He's like, this kid is better than me, and he's teaching me things. That's how good my youngest son was as a drummer. But then he was in a car accident and has a TBI, and he can't even hold the beat anymore, which is sad. But yeah, both my kids are musical. Scott says he was into the Hot Rod magazines. I bought my first Walkman Motley Crue cassette from the PX while I was in basic training. Tiger Beat, Teen Magazine, etc., says Sharon. Carol Kay. All right, Paul, now you're showing your age. Carol Kay was an amazing bassist. She was. And nobody knew who she was. She was part of the Wrecking Crew, right? I'm almost positive. Look up musicians, the Wrecking Crew. You're going to see names in there you didn't know. Glenn Campbell and Carol Kay probably being the most famous ones. Glenn Campbell, you know him, Rhinestone Cowboy, right? He's one of the greatest guitar players that ever lived. Like Roy Clark guitar playing. Greatest. But yeah, Carol Kay, crazy. That woman played on everybody's album. Yeah, you should forgive your brother. Hopefully he'll get his life around, get it together. 1983 is when I got mine, Walkman, right? I had a Walkman. I had, what was the CD one? I had one of those, the portable CD player. And I had the little cassette adapter with the wire on it, and you put it in your cassette deck, and you could play your CDs through the cassette deck. Yeah, kids. Bluetooth? What was Bluetooth? Nothing like that then. Really loved Journey, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, all the good stuff. Yep, I'm with you. I liked all of that. Donny Osmond was a good singer. Yeah, he was. You do realize that was 40 years ago. I know. I just turned 59. Believe me, I know. Oh, yep, I'm looking at the time. One more hour and I can blow this popsicle stand. Get to go home. All right, folks. Well, hopefully the new platform is working out. It looks fantastic. We're on the Ethernet cable. We're using the new Streamlabs desktop or desk something or other, and I'm slowly learning how to use it. Shirley, you're finally here. Good to see you, my friend. We're just getting ready to get out of here. Don't forget, PMA, Positive Mental Attitude. PMA will definitely save your day. Believe me when I tell you I'm living proof that it works, because I am. Don't forget to make a difference in somebody's day today. Say a kind word, smile at somebody, shake a hand, give them a hug. Keep our first responders, the men and ladies of our first responders, in your mind every day. And if you see one, thank them for their service. And that goes for our veterans, our men and ladies of the armed forces. They're on the wall every day, keeping us safe. So let's protect them and think about them as well. And then the last thing is the red, white, and blue. let's see, Wednesday is Flag Day, so don't forget, June 14th is Flag Day. Salute it, respect it, and think about it. Think about the people that came before us to protect that. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. If you want to make a video for me like you've seen, please, I would appreciate it. And you can email that to me at theastutetourist@gmail.com. Don't forget our swag store. We do have an Etsy store. And if you want to donate to the channel, we would appreciate it. Don't forget on your way out to like the stream today. So I guess I'm going to get out of here. Love and appreciate you guys. I want to wish everybody peace and love from deep down in your heart, or my heart. My name is Jimmy. I'm the Astute Tourist. We'll see you for Tuesday, Cup of Joe Live tomorrow morning. Bye, everybody. Peace.